Well, good Sunday afternoon, YTPC. Just got back from the valleys where we had a lovely festival with our relatives. Listening to a bit of classical piano on the balcony. So yesterday we met up with all our relatives in the close family and went to the town of Thun. That's how you pronounce it, T-H-U-N. Here's a little map for you. So it's a lovely part of Switzerland. The two lakes linked, the Brienzer Sea and the Thuner See. Very close, and in the middle is Interlaken. A lot of people know that. And the town of Thun, which is a lovely historic town. We had a fantastic lunch in the restaurant Beau Rivage. If you're ever in Thun and you like old school Italian cuisine, I can only recommend it. It was absolutely delicious. Of course, I went for the pasta, and for a long time I never had haven't had lasagna, which is a sort of ordinary Italian dish, but if you do it right, it's a glorious dish, and that was absolutely fantastic. And we had their house wine. Everybody says Switzerland is expensive. Their house wine was 35 francs, maybe about $40. That's not pricey at all for a restaurant in a hotel. Very almost cheap by Swiss standards, and it was a very, very lovely wine. And of course we kicked off with a beautiful white wine from the Venice area, which Lugana I think it's called, my wife knows it, which was exquisite. Have a whole assortment of starters with bruschetta, which I love, but all kinds of other antipasta. So you know, it's one of those situations where you sit there and say, if I've got to suffer, then this is how to do it. Well, I was smoking some Crooner. I'm about halfway through this tin now. And I really actually am liking this so much I might reorder a tin, which is what I do if they reach very good or excellent, to keep my stock and make sure I've got some available if I can ever not get it anymore. And it's a cube cut, and I always thought cube cuts, you know, hard to light and keep going out, but it's not the case with this at all. It's a very lovely cube cut, and those green things you see in there, there's a hydrostone just to keep up the right humidity. The green things are lamb's leaves. So there's some good reviews about Crooner, which I won't repeat here, and that gives it a kind of vanilla and a little bit of a kiss of aniseed just at the background, and it's very pleasant to smoke. And I was using my little Rossi Rubino Antico pipe there, which is very nice and portable. Today I'm using my Eleganza, Savinelli Extravaganza in 9mm, and I don't have that many spigots, so I wanted to get a spigot pipe, and this beautiful blue stem sets off lovely with this lighter tan smooth bowl. And right now you can get incredible deals on very nice pipes from Savinelli like this, absolutely fantastic. Using my gold plated Zippo, one of the few that I have not put a gas insert in, because this gold plated insert, at least it looks like that to me, holds the fuel quite well for about a week or so. So I think I'll keep it in this particular case. Do notice actually the fuel lighters are, it says they're windproof for supposed to be Zippos, and it's more true I think when you use a fuel insert than a gas insert. So another reason to keep the regular insert with this one. It's kind of off and on today. We've got sun, then I had thunderstorms and cloud, but it didn't, just sprinkled a little rain and it's gone away. But the forecast says we're probably going to get big thunderstorms on their way. Anyway, so after the restaurant there, we basically went down to where the station is, which is right on the lake, and there are boats that you can take a tour with. And we had a lovely little boat trip, and they stop all around the lake, so you can take them like taxis and just go to the next place. And then we had a look at some lovely parks that they have around the lake there, where people can relax, and beautiful flowers are seen there, and people sunbathe in bikinis and swimming trunks on the grass, you know. And everywhere cafes for aperos and having a beer and all of that. Lovely. And we took a little bus hop back towards the town of Thun, and did some walking there along the bank, which I can only recommend either by, if you like bicycling, or if you want a nice long 2 kilometer or 5 kilometer walk, or whatever you like to do. It's just beautiful, and watch these lovely passenger boats go to and fro, and people swimming out there. So it was a marvellous day. Anyways, a few clips for you to share. Hope you enjoy it. It won't be a long video, but just to share the fun.
Now you see, it's a very lovely, peaceful town of Thun. They pronounce it Thun. It's T-H-U-N, not Thun, but Thun. And these riverbanks are just very congenial as meeting places and cafes. And another lovely view here of this wooden bridge, which is not as long as the one in Lucerne, but very charming nonetheless. And it's well, it's just full of cafes and restaurants here. You know, it's really charming, especially when the weather is just so blue sky. Look at that today. A little bit of cloud over there, but not much. Beautiful. And beautiful clear water, and some people just actually swimming here and just float further down the river. There's Swan over there. Lovely cafes all around the river. Beautiful. Oh look, a whole shoal of them. You see them? Beautiful. Look, coming up here. I think they get fed with bread. And I think they're not trout, but maybe like barbel or something. They've got little tendrils on their mouths. So, not trout, something else. But look at them. Like 100 of them there. God, if only I had a net Actually, just there is the castle in Thun, which is very much intact and standing up, not a ruin. And I think you can have little tours around there. It's actually quite huge in its own way. Lovely. So we're actually on the ferry here on the Lake Thun, and Thun as they call it. And this is just one of the stops here. You see the crew preparing. So they basically just go all around the little coast of this this lake. It's not that big. And pick up people. So it's kind of like a lake taxi, you know. But it's big enough you can have a drink here, and some of them you can actually have a full lunch and everything. And you just see a lot of people here swimming in the distance there, over there, and paddling and on canoes and enjoying themselves. And you see some of these marvellous chateaus, like look at the ones over there. Fantastic, isn't it? Beautiful chateau. That's Hinterfingen, I think it's yeah, Hinterfingen. See the sign on the little port office there, Hinterfingen, and there's one after the other of these things. But you see, everybody's out enjoying the beautiful sun of mid-August, which is it's glorious and beautifully warm. The temperature of that lake, this guy swimming there, is about 24 degrees. So absolutely comfortable, even for people like me who just don't want to have cold temperatures. And then you have all the mountains in the distance there, you see, and all the little sailing boats on the lake. It's quite glorious, it really is. And this is the kind of thing you can do to your heart's content in Switzerland, because they've got loads of lakes. And those are these little taxi boats that, well, it's like a taxi ship. It's quite large vessel. And just enjoy it. And then one after the other, there's another one coming towards us, about slightly larger than we are, that one over there. You see it? And another chateau on the lake. And the real estate around this lake is like anyone in Switzerland, is hardly ever comes to sale because it goes in the family, and if it does come for sale, it's almost unpayable unless you're...
Oberhofer is the next stop. Next stop, Oberhofer.
Oberhofer is the next stop. There we go, we've got the Tissot. It's a famous make of Swiss watch. There's a bit of advertising on the side, and the name of that ship is the Berner Oberland, and they're doing what we're doing, and just enjoying a tour around the sea, and we all wave to each other, you know. Hello everybody wearing masks. That is now, since a short time, reintroduced for public transport. You've got to have one of your masks on. I just love the panorama around it, the mountains around the lake, and this. See, you can do this if you like, this sort of canoeing, stand-up canoeing. My wife did that a few days ago with her sister on this lake, and thoroughly enjoyed it. You just sit there, talk with your friends, and have a coffee. Or take your little sailing boat out, like that one. Look at that. Marvellous, isn't it? See, one house after the other. I'd like to have that one there with a summer house on the lake, and that lovely house there, but and my own boat. One can dream, you know, one can dream. And here we come to the next little port. It's only like 5 minutes between one and the other, and they stop. People get on with their bicycles. You can cycle around this lake and enjoy it that way, and visit the little towns, and then just nip on one of these boats and get across the other side. Beautiful. The boat, the Stadt Thun. That was the one that we were just on. Sort of a middle-sized one, you know. But they stop everywhere, you know. Look at that lovely chateau, you know. Isn't it just beautiful? A lot of them are hotel restaurants, or a few are still privately owned, you know. Everyone enjoying nice coffee here or a beer. And if you want, you can get married here and go on a boat. They just actually, the bride and groom have stepped off for some photographs and off this nice little boat. There you see them. Lovely idea, just married. Bride and groom just coming down here towards the lovely castle there, where they've probably got the reception. Quite glorious, isn't it? See, walking around the lake, of course, there are paths and little parks, and you see flowers over there, and you see flowers over here. Look at these, beautiful. I don't know what they are. It's actually belonging to that house, and it says there, private. So they did this, but we who walk in the park can admire them, which is very nice of them. What are they for flowers?
Astra.
They're
Asters.
asters, or astras, or something like that. Different yellows and reds and oranges. Isn't it lovely? Correction, these are dahlias, of course. I don't know where they got astras from. Per ardua ad astra, probably, or something like that. But these are dahlias, we call them in English. They're just lovely how they've done the verges here of this garden. Marvellous. Here's something interesting. There's all these little signs around telling you what the plants are, and this magnificent tree here is a winter linda, which has those shaped leaves, and apparently it's got healing power for all your bodily afflictions of the lower body. We won't go into that. And it helps you sleep and breathe, it says here. I suppose you make a tea out of it or something like that. Incredible. My relatives were playing with the swings and sessels and having a great time. Just showing you another beautiful boat here, Bloomley's out. This is an old one. Charming, isn't it? It's going to pick more passengers up at the place which we stopped. See, Johannes Brahms lived in a house here, 1886 to 1888, and the house is not more here. It was torn down, but this monument is there. I never knew that Brahms was here in Switzerland. Only for 2 years. But how about that on the Lake Thun? Marvellous flowers. Look at these beautiful roses. And they're everywhere, you see? And it's almost like a grass beach here. Everyone sunbathes and stays on the beach, and then they go for a swim in the lake, like this gentleman. And something quite new for me. but in this beautiful warm weather, why not? There's a lovely statue here. More of a modern one, I don't know from which sculpture that is, but quite spectacular really, in a tranquil way. Beautiful. And here. Beautiful, look at that. Three ladies holding up a bowl, sprinkling water into the little fountain here. It's actually magnificent. There's no plaque telling me who made it or when. And that's just lovely, isn't it?
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. It was great fun. We had a little light dinner in the evening and just listened to the goings on in the town. Of course, a lot of people, you have to wear masks in certain places, and you have to register at the table. There's a little scanning code for whoever's in the group, so we do that, so we're all trackable if anything happens. And it was quite busy, but it's all a balance, isn't it, now, between you've got to let people earn a living and get back to it, and you've got to somehow keep a bit of a lid on reinfections, and everyone's struggling, I think, in Europe, everywhere, with that balance, you know. So I hope, though, we can sort of keep on going this way, because it's healthier for the economy, and if we have to get that back healthy, otherwise we'll all have other problems. So right way to do it, but a bit tricky, and above all the public has to join in, you know. But glad to see people out, you know, and twos and threes and small groups, and you know, got much less risk there with a little family group, and you can still get out and have a good time, you know, and enjoy things. Even we found some surfers. I don't know, I'll show you this little beach.
Here back at the wooden bridge where this sluice is, where there's fast water, and believe it or not, we got some surfers here. Yeah. So he has a constant wave there. And how about that? You don't have to be in Hawaii to do this. There you go.
Well, I hope you're having fun also where you are, and if you've got good weather like this, it's much easier to do it, isn't it? Well, you all have a good rest of the weekend on this Sunday. Take it easy, smoke a pipe, listen to some nice music, have a little drink to refresh you, and take care of yourselves, everyone. I'll talk to you again in a few days with another video. Take care.